budget of these 4 Niger Delta states, and it's titled Spend and Borrow. It is being released here for the first time. Let's see, please. Let's see. Please, you could share it now. Now, the report, Spend and Borrow, will interest you in at least 3 regards. In the first place, it presents an in-depth discussion on the challenges facing Nigeria and especially Niger Delta in the present epoch. Topical issues such as the Petroleum Industry Bill, the state of federal institutions like the NDDC and the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, the amnesty program, corruption in the oil and gas industry, etc., are elaborately examined in the report. The second regard is the in-depth analysis of state budgets, where NDCBP analysts have attempted to see how the expenditure preferences of the governments keep faith with their policy statements. Particularly, interest has been on how much emphasis the government's place on the education and health sectors in relation to other sectors of the states. Now, the third regard which this report will interest you is that it presents in factual and pictorial details findings of NDCBP field monitors who in October and November 2010 visited project sites in the 4 focal states, that is Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Delta and River states, to carry out a first-hand assessment of randomly selected capital projects in the areas of education and health that were allocated funds in the 2010 budget of the states. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, permit me to give you a sneak preview of our findings in 2010. The bulk of it is contained in the report already, but this is just part of that. Akwa Ibom State first. Now, for the most part of 2010, Akwa Ibom State was the highest fiscal earner from the federation accounts. However, the increased fortune did not reflect in substantive improvement in infrastructure in the state. Now, of the state's 288.8 billion naira budget for 2010, only 18.4 billion and 10.1 billion was allocated to the sectors of education and health, respectively, and this represented 6.4% and 3.5% of the budget, respectively. A sector, now I don't know whether to call it a sector or not, but a heading in the budget called General Administration, which of course has been a source of very deep contention, the exact placement of General Administration, received 43.7 billion, or 15% of the overall budget. This is despite the state's promise to revitalize the 2 sectors, that is education and health. Now, in the area of budget monitoring, the platform notes that a high percentage of the projects in the sectors of education and health allocated funds in the budget were never executed. Renovation of schools, provision of transport vehicles for students and pupils, etc., were never done. The responsible ministries declined to provide any explanation for why those projects were never carried out, even when allocations were made in the budget for them. Now, the report also notes that Akwa Ibom State still denies the vast majority of its citizens access to budget documents and fiscal details. In the entirety of the budget process, citizens are never consulted, neither are their inputs considered. In the area of revenue generation, which has been a very major issue in the Niger Delta state we worked in the area of revenue generation, Akwa Ibom State depends almost exclusively